Hello and welcome to our channel. Today we are going to explore two important CPT modifiers, and those are 33, 32 and 33. These modifiers are used to distinguish between the mandated services and the preventive services. So आज हम पढ़ेंगे मॉडिफायर 32 को और मॉडिफायर 33 को. दोनों का अलग अलग रोल है और दोनों का अलग अलग यूज़ है. बट यूज़र्स कोडर्स जो इनिशियल लेवल पे जो बहुत बिगनर्स होते हैं वो इस पर कन्फ्यूज़ हो जाते हैं एट द टाइम ऑफ द इंटरव्यू. सो 32 का जो हमारे मैनुअल में डिस्क्रिप्शन लिखा है दैट इज़, लेट मी ओपन द मैनुअल फर्स्ट. सो 32 इज़ मेंशन एज mandated services. You can find the basic description at the first page of the CPT, at the first page number even, and the description in the appendix A. So this is appendix A at your screen, which is located at the PDF number 999, and in your book page number is, I'm sorry for this, that is 967. So at very first look, the 32 states mandated services and 33 states preventive services. So let's learn about the 32 first, then we will move to the 33. 32 mandated services का मतलब ये होता है कि कुछ ऐसी सर्विसेज होती हैं जो मैंडेट होती हैं, मैंडेटेड कंसल्टेशन होती हैं. एग्जाम्पल के लिए, जस्ट सपोज आपने कोई इंश्योरेंस बाय की या कोई प्लान बाय किया, एंड दैट इंश्योरेंट वांट कि भाई हमारे को अपना पेशेंट को स्क्रीनिंग कराना है सो दैट हम रजिस्टर कर पाएँ कि क्या क्या चीज़ हमारे पेशेंट को है, किस टाइप से डिडक्टेबल होगा, किस टाइप से पेशेंट शेयरिंग होगी, ये सब कुछ हम डिसाइड कर पाएँ. तो मॉडिफायर 32 इंडिकेट करता है ऐसी सर्विसेज को, ऐसी प्रोसीजर्स को जो कि मैंडेटरी होते हैं, रिक्वायर्ड बाय द लॉ एंड द रेगुलेशन. हम इसमें ऐसी सर्विसेज कंसीडर करते हैं जो कि मैंडेटेड होते हैं बाय द थर्ड पार्टीज़. थर्ड पार्टीज़ आप याद रख सकते हो. थर्ड पार्टीज़ का मतलब होता है कि जो इंश्योरेंस जो प्रोवाइड करते हैं, जो प्लान प्रोवाइड करते हैं, उसको हम थर्ड पार्टी बोलते हैं. I got one FAQ through the online from somewhere. I don't know the website as of now. So I have copied paste that. So this is a FAQ which we are going through today. So the first question is, when should modifier 32 should be used? So 32 हम तब यूज़ करते हैं when service needs to be extended to the third party entity like insurers, official entities for the valuation of claims to verify कि पेशेंट को ये कंडीशन है भी या नहीं है. तो ये मोस्टली थर्ड पार्टी की साइड से होता है, जैसे वर्कर कॉम्स के साइड से भी होता है ये कि पेशेंट को एक्चुअल में इंजरी हुई भी है या नहीं है. और हाँ, वी हैव टू रिमेंबर दिस, वी कैन नॉट यूज़ दिस फॉर अ सेकेंड ओपिनियन फ्रॉम द अनदर डॉक्टर फैमिली मेम्बर. ऐसा नहीं करना कि भाई पेशेंट को एक बार देखा और सेकेंड ओपिनियन के लिए आपने पेशेंट को कहीं और रेफ़र कर दिया तो दूसरा डॉक्टर आपका 32 लगा रहा है मैंडेटेड सर्विस. सेकेंड ओपिनियन इज़ नॉट मैंडेटेड एंड इट इज़ नॉट रिक्वेस्टेड बाय द थर्ड पार्टी. Make sure 32 needs to be used when it is requested by the third party entity. Then you have to use the 32 modifier. We cannot use 32 modifier for the patient consultation and for the second opinions. Also, second 32 modifier is not accepted by the Medicare because Medicare में mostly वही patient होते हैं जो 65 plus होते हैं, जिन्हें ESRD होता है या कोई डिसेबिलिटी होती है, तो उसमें हमें मैंडेटेड सर्विसेज या फिर वो चेकअप कराने की थ्रू दी डॉक्टर ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती. मोस्टली ये कमर्शियल पेयर की साइड से होता है. सो 32 इज़ नॉट डिफ़िकल्ट, इट्स जस्ट यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दैट इट इज़ द मैंडेटेड सर्विसेज. एंड मैंडेट के ऐसे याद रख सकते हो, कोई ऐसी सर्विस जो ज़रूरी है टू प्रोसेस द क्लेम. सो लेट्स रीड दिस नाउ. 32 for mandated service used for the service related to the mandated consultation. Mandated means जो required consultation है, यानी कि required per the AMA guideline. CMS guideline indicate that 32 modifier has no impact on reimbursement. It will not impact your reimbursement. You will get, provider will get the complete payment for the services which provider is going to give. AMA guidelines include example of parties that may request a mandated services. Sometimes their basic commercial payers requires these mandated services. And the third payer guideline is some mandate services for a patient before a procedure or a therapeutic services. Let's say we have submitted the pre-authorization for the herniorrhaphy, but insurance want to check the patient whether patient truly have the hernia or not. So for that opinion, insurance requests that procedure or insurance requests that evaluation. So that was the mandated services. That is not patient initiated, that was initiated by the insurance. So Modifier 32 is for the information only, and again there is no impact on the reimbursement. So let's take a look. Let me see if I have the example also. No, I don't. So let's take go through with the manuals to make sure we are aligned with the manual. Remember, your CPT manual is your Bible. मैं आपको बस बाकी चीज़ों से समझा रही हूँ. आई हैव मतलब मैंने बाकी चीज़ें इकट्ठी करी है. यू दैट डजेंट मीन कि आप मैनुअल को छोड़ दोगे. मैनुअल इज़ योर बाइबल. मैनुअल आपके पास हर जगह रहेगी. इफ़ यू आर अ मेडिकल कोडर, आपके पास मैनुअल हर जगह रहेगी. आपको पता होना चाहिए मैनुअल में कहाँ क्या लिस्टेड है और कैसे क्या लोकेट करना है. Manual is a sufficient, but sometime for more example we have to refer other website, other blogs also, like you have to refer my video. But Bible, your manual is a Bible. So let's take a look here. So service related to the mandated consultation or a related service examples are third party payer, governmental, legislative, regulatory requirement may be identified by adding 32 to the basic procedure. So with the basic procedure you can add the 32 modifier to represent that this is a mandated services. 33. Important modifier in terms of the intro. 33 is a preventive service modifier. Preventive service means that doctor is giving that service before the condition has occurred. Majorly you can see examples like patient had a polyp in the past or patient had a GERD in the past. Now patient is coming for a colonoscopy at the age of 65 to make sure that patient does not have anything in his colon. So that colonoscopy is a preventive colonoscopy. So Modifier 33 is used to indicate that the service or a procedure is a voluntary, meaning it's not required by a law or regulation. This modifier is often used for a service related to the preventive care or the wellness program or the immunization, vaccination. So if patient does not have that disease, but due to the age factor, due to the previous history, patient need to go through with that procedure. So 33 will represent that patient does not have that condition as of now, but we are doing it preventive to make sure that we can prevent that patient so that condition cannot occur. So here we have a difficult terms like service task force A and B. So for a time being, because I have mentioned here for service task A and B, because it is mentioned here, for a time being kindly ignore these words so that you don't get confused with these words. You have to remember this. We have to apply this to represent that service is delivered and evidence-based preventive services. Evidence-based preventive services, it means that patient have something in the colon in the past, but right now patient does not have. Still we are doing that procedure to make sure patient does not have that condition in the future. So you don't need to use the modifier 33 for a service already identified as a preventive. Like you cannot use 33 modifier with a preventive evaluation and management visits. You have to use the modifier 33 with the procedures which are not preventive in nature. Like patient is coming for the screening colonoscopy, and screening colonoscopy turns diagnostic. Diagnostic means doctor needs to remove the polyp. So you have to build the screening colonoscopy with the modifier 33 to represent that patient visits for the screening colonoscopy that turns into the diagnostic. So diagnostic means that doctor found something and did the therapeutic procedure at the same time. That's a therapeutic. That's a diagnostic colonoscopy. I have picked the example for a colonoscopy because that is very easy to understand. So I do have one example here. Let's say I already go through with this, that patient visit for the colorectal cancer screening, which is recommended by the preventive service task with an A rating. A rating means that due to some particular age, provider need to do the colonoscopy to make sure that patient does not have any colorectal cancer. So in this case, we have to represent the modifier 33 to represent that, hey, this is a preventive service. Patient does not already have the cancer, and we have to do this preventive service to make sure that patient does not have this cancer in the future. So modifier 33 is only added if the service is not automatically coded as preventive. For instance, if the service is already as in preventive, then we do need to. Like for a Medicare, one thing, for a Medicare we are not allowed to use the modifier 33. For a Medicare we have to use the modifier PT, preventive treatment. So for 33 modifier need to be used for a commercial payers only. You are not allowed to use the modifier 33 for the Medicare. I got one blog at the APC website. We can go through with this blog to make sure that we understand the modifier 33 completely. So first of all, why we have a modifier 33? So modifier 33 was created, ये modifier 33 इसलिए बनाया गया है in the response of Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, जिसमें हेल्थ केयर इंश्योरेंस टू कवर सर्टेन इंश्योरेंस को कवर करनी होती है सर्टेन प्रिवेंटिव सर्विसेज लाइक इम्यूनाइजेशन, वैक्सीनेशंस, colon cancer screening, breast cancer screening, without cost sharing. Without cost sharing means that patient is not eligible for any copay or any deductible. That patient don't need to pay anything here. So without cost sharing, ये सब कुछ कवर होता है बाय द इंश्योरर. इंश्योरर मीन्स जो पेयर होता है वो सब ये कवर करता है, और जो भी कोपे और डिडक्टेबल होता है उसको वेव करता है. वेव मीन्स ख़त्म करते हैं. 33 मॉडिफायर से हम क्या रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं? वी विल अलर्ट द इंश्योरेंस टू रिप्रेजेंट दैट हे दिस इज़ अ प्रिवेंटिव सर्विसेज and cost sharing does not apply. This is a preventive services. Patient does not need this services at this time, but due to the Affordable Care Act or to patient protection, we have to do this service to make sure patient does not have this condition in the future. Next is, before billing the 33 modifier, we have to make sure we know which services are covered and which are not. I'm not going to go through with this. This is a website. You can go through with this. Next, to understand whether 33 modifier is eligible or not, what you can do, you can go to your software, whatever the software you have. If it is a preventive services and we have a documentation that this is a preventive services only and does not the therapeutic services, you can append the 33 modifier and check whether the CPT allow this modifier or no. Next thing we have already covered, this modifier is for the commercial payers. We cannot use 33 modifier for the federal payers. Next one, for Medicare we have specific G codes. We have to use G code for a Medicare for the preventive, and we have to bill those services with the PT modifier. If the patient is coming, this is for the private payer or the commercial payer. If the patient is coming for a screening, that turned diagnostic means therapeutic services, then we have to use the 33 modifier with the procedure to represent that patient visit for the preventive services only. So let's go through with the FAQ. So व्हेन शुड मॉडिफायर 33 बी यूज? हमें 33 मॉडिफायर कब यूज़ करना है? जब हमें ये रिप्रेजेंट करना है कि दिस इज़ अ प्रिवेंटिव सर्विसेज विच इज़ कवर्ड अंडर द पेशेंट प्रोटेक्ट एंड ACA Act. And we have to remember one thing, that this needs to be used with the very specific CPT. You cannot use with the all CPTs. If the CPT is already representing that this is a preventive visit, then you cannot use the 33 modifier with that. So why you have to use? Because that if it is a preventive service, then patient is not eligible for the copay or deductible. So you have to tell the payer that, hey, this is a preventive services and patient is not responsible for the copay and the deductible. Can 33 be used with the Medicare insurance? So answer is no, we cannot use, because for Medicare we have a separate G code for a preventive services. Like we have one example here, that if the patient is coming for a screening mammography for a Medicare patient, we have to use G0202, and same way we have a separate code for a colorectal screening also. What preventive services does Modifier 33 cover? Any preventive services like routine immunization, routine screening, pelvic cancer screening, breast cancer screening, colon cancer screening. So any screenings recommended by various health organizations are covered into the 33 modifier. Remember, this modifier is not intended to use for a Medicare. Next is, can modifier 33 be used for a multiple preventive service? Yes, we can use this modifier with all preventive services to represent that this service is preventive in nature. And last one, how does Modifier 33 affect patient payment? So Modifier 33 allow payers to waive means to write off the deductibles, co-payment and co-insurance. That's the only reason we have to use the 32 and 33. Just to represent the payer that these are services are not required based on the patient health, but these are the preventive services which we need to do. So let's go through with the manual. So preventive services is when the primary purpose of the service is to delivery of an evidence-based services in accordance to the US Preventive Service Task Force. Preventive Service Task Force A and B states that these services needs to be done to make sure that patient does not have any serious condition in the future. These services may be identified by adding a 33 modifier to the procedure. For separately reported services specifically identified preventive, these modifier not need to be used. So अगर आपकी सर्विस ऑलरेडी प्रिवेंटिव इन नेचर है, तब आप 33 मॉडिफायर नहीं लगाओगे. आप प्रिवेंटिव इवैल्यूएशन एंड मैनेजमेंट के साथ 33 मॉडिफायर नहीं यूज़ करोगे, बिकॉज वो ऑलरेडी बता रहा है कि दिस इज़ अ प्रिवेंटिव सर्विसेज. ये ऐसे प्रोसीजर्स के साथ होगा जिसमें प्रिवेंटिव उसका कंपोनेंट नहीं होगा. तो मेरा ये इंटेंट था इस वीडियो को हिंदी में बनाने का, तो फटाफट हिंदी में गो थ्रू कर लेते हैं. 32 का मतलब होता है मैंडेटेड सर्विसेज. मैंडेटेड सर्विसेज वो होती हैं जो इंश्योरेंस कहता है कि भाई हमें आपके ऊपर ये टेस्ट करना है टू मेक श्योर दैट यू हैव टू मेक श्योर कि पेशेंट को वो कंडीशन है, इसलिए हमें वो 33 मॉडिफायर यूज़ करना है, 32 मॉडिफायर यूज़ करना है. तो 32 मॉडिफायर मैंडेट सर्विस आप उसे ही बोलोगे जिसमें रिक्वेस्ट आती है, हमारे पास डॉक्टर के पास रिक्वेस्ट आती है कि प्लीज़ यू हैव टू गो थ्रू विद द सर्विसेज टू मेक, आपको ये प्रोसीजर करना पड़ेगा जस्ट टू चेक कि वेदर पेशेंट को वो कंडीशन है भी या नहीं है. 33 प्रिवेंटिव सर्विसेज मेजरली ये कोलोरेक्टल स्क्रीनिंग के साथ यूज़ करते हैं, जिसमें हम 453 सीरीज़ यूज़ करते हैं. सेकेंड, ये प्राइवेट पेयर्स के लिए यूज़ होता है और इससे दोनों मॉडिफायर से पेशेंट की लायबिलिटी ज़ीरो हो जाती है और वेव ऑफ हो जाती है. थैंक्स एवरीवन, बाय, हैव अ गुड डे. आई हैव टू स्टॉप वीडियो फ्रॉम हियर.